Looks like I was born ready. Canelo Alvarez is finalizing an opponent. This should be good. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, shout out to Lance Pugmire. He tweeted this out. It says, I was told by Make a War, which is Eric Gomez, today an agreement on Canelo's next opponent can happen very soon, including by tonight if the stars align. Now let's just briefly check in, tap in with the fans, see what they say. He's moving up to fight Derek Chisora. Come on, leak who it is. Saunders, October 26th in Vegas. Charlo. You know, people taking guesses. Listen, I don't know who it is, but on my channel, I give everybody a fair shake. Canelo just fought Danny Jacobs. That was good. You know, I really kind of expected more from the fight, but, you know, I'm glad that they fought. Unifications matter. We've seen unifications this year, and that's always a good thing. Canelo, Jacobs, Maurice Hooker versus Jose Ramirez. That was, in my opinion, a more scintillating fight, but still, unifications matter. I'm in LA right now. Errol Spence is going to fight Sean Porter, another good unification. So I'm all about the unis. But I don't know who's Canelo's going to fight. Again, I'm going to wait and find out. He's had quite the ordeal, I guess you could say, trying to figure out his opponent and who he was going to select. So hopefully they found someone good. I'm not going to speculate. There's no point, especially with this information coming out that, you know, he could have it announced or finalized behind the scenes in due time coming up. Again, I hope it's someone good. I really don't know. Billy Joe Saunders, he just signed to Eddie Hearns in DAZN and Matchroom. Left Frank Warren. I heard they left on solid terms. It was amicable. You know, it wasn't like this heinous breakup or whatever. So I really don't know. I personally, if I had to take a wild guess, I don't think Canelo's first fight would be a guy like, I don't think Billy Joe Saunders' first fight with DAZN would be Canelo, nor do I think Canelo's team is chomping at the bit to fight that style of a Billy Joe Saunders. But hey, it's boxing. If he chooses to fight Billy Joe Saunders, I'm with it. You know, these names have been linked for quite some time, so that's a solid fight. Obviously, I really want to see Jermall Charlo versus Canelo. That would be a battle for the real WBC champion at middleweight. Don't think it's going to be Triple G. I'm hearing he's going to fight Derevyanchenko, as he should, because Canelo told him to get a belt. It's his mandatory, and it would look horrible if he avoids Derevyanchenko fight for Canelo or anybody else 2 times in a row, back-to-back years. So I think Triple G has to fight, especially coming off the Steve Rose junk. You know, he has to fight someone of note, and he has to follow the parameters, because if he, again, chooses to fight another Steve Rose type or passes up a Derevyanchenko, then that shows you he's not about what he said he was about, because that's a title opportunity. Who passes up a title? He's not that big where he should be passing up a title opportunity, especially after the Canelo loss. So don't think it'll be Triple G. Don't think it'll be Charlo. Name that was kind of mentioned was Demetrius Andrade. I have my reservations about that. But hey, if they could get it done and Canelo's down to fight Andrade and everything's on fair terms, then that's a hell of a fight. I will give Canelo props if it's someone like that. I don't know. Canelo's flexible. He said he could fight at 160, 168, and he's even talked about fighting at 175 against the likes of Kovalev. I think that's an advanced cherry pick. Not saying Kovalev has nothing to offer, but Kovalev's weaknesses, since he's fought at such a high level for so long, are on full display. We know what he does well and what he doesn't. So I think if they are going to move up, as opposed to fight Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, you know, Jean Pascal, Anthony Yard if he beats Kovalev, Alexander Voltstik, you know, I think Canelo's team likes the stylistic matchup between Kovalev the best. Again, Kovalev's fighting Anthony Yard, so if he does have an opponent that is confirmed before that, then I don't think it'll be Kovalev. Or unless they're doing it under the pretense. You never know with Canelo's team. Unless they're doing it under the pretense that, hey, if Kovalev wins by any method and August 24th, then he's going to fight Kovalev next after Anthony Yarde. That's a possibility. So let's not, if they announce it before August 24th, then I don't think it'll be Kovalev, but it definitely could be Kovalev if they're behind the scenes. They've agreed with Kovalev to fight contingent on the fact, because all this says from Lance Pugmire of The Athletic, it says an agreement on Canelo's next opponent can happen very soon, including by tonight if the stars align. So that's just an agreement. So it for all intents and purposes, it actually could be Kovalev, because agreeing is one thing. Kovalev still has to get past Anthony Yarde. So we've seen this before. Anthony Joshua and Klitschko, they basically had a silent pact. If he got past Eric Molina, that Klitschko would be next. That's why you've seen Klitschko get in the ring with Joshua after Joshua knocked out Eric Molina, right? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see who Canelo decides. You also got guys like Caleb Smith. They're keeping it pretty quiet as to who he's fighting. My top fights would be just stay at 160, maybe go to 168. I'm not really a fan of Canelo going to 75. I just feel like too many fighters are doing it. Mikey Garcia, we keep seeing this. Like, be the best, clear out one division. Like Terrence Crawford, Usyk. These guys, Terrence Crawford and Usyk, are model citizens for what you're supposed to be doing in boxing. Reason being, Terrence Crawford left no doubt in anybody's mind, unless you're a hater, who the best 140-pounder was. He was undisputed. You can hate him, you can lie, you can not like Nebraska. It don't matter. He proved he was the best in the weight class, because this was before Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor. There's some names that are starting to surface now. But at the time, Terrence Crawford did the damn thing, got undisputed, and he was looking good in those fights, and most of them were by knockout. Knocked out Julius Ndongo, bigger framed, dual belt holding champion. There's nothing you could say. Usyk, very same thing. He competed at the highest level in the World Boxing Super Series, and he emerged with the Ali Trophy. He was victorious. He was the last man standing. He beat Murat Gassiev, who beat Dorticos. Dorticos just beat a Mayweather Promotions fighter, Andrew Tabiti, in a scintillating knockout of the year type, and Murat Gassiev beat him, and Usyk dominated Gassiev. So you got to give credit to Usyk. Then Usyk knocked out Tony Bellew, who was a former WBC champion and had 2 wins at heavyweight, a higher division, against David Haye. So again, model citizens in this boxing game that deserve a lot of respect and credit would be Terrence Crawford and Usyk, because they're playing the game, in my opinion, how it should be played. Don't just jump in these crazy weight class jumps when you haven't proven you're the man in one of the 2 divisions you're leaving. Everybody's looking for belts. It's like I told you, I've said this for years now. So if you hear anyone copy this, you know where it came from. I said everybody wants to be Money Mayweather, but they don't want to go through the Pretty Boy Floyd stages. That's not fair. That's not how it's supposed to be. Everyone's looking for, the lucrative fight, and the fight is going to make me mega million. If in boxing, it is not rocket science. If you do what you're supposed to be doing, if you fight the necessary and rightful contemporaries, then the money, the accolades, the fame, the adoration from fans, all this stuff will come. Trust me. Just do what the fans are asking you of. And the sanctioning bodies, within reason, unify, just simple shit, and you'll get everything that boxing has to offer and more. You'll get your name in the history book. But so many people now are trying to do their own thing, Mikey Garcia, top talent, still a good fighter, but he might not be the same because he went up and got beat up by a bigger fighter, and that's why he's fighting Eric Morales in exhibitions and shit, and he hasn't come back since. He's just enjoying the money and stuff like that. He got dominated. That was embarrassing. He kept saying, "Oh, I see something," and saying all this. And people are like, damn, what does he see? He's damn near too confident versus Errol Spence. And then he laid an egg. And I'm not saying Canelo moving up to 75. He's a different fighter than Mikey Garcia. So maybe he could beat Kovalev, but I don't know. Me personally, if you have talent in the talent pool and you're already a champion and these are the weight classes you plan on fighting, for the most part, just stay there. See, again, everyone wants to be money made. They don't want to go through the pretty boy Floyd stage. Floyd moved up to fight De La Hoya, money fight. He moved up to fight Cotto, money fight. But he was already solidified and established at 47. He was already established in 4 other weight classes before he even did that. So it's not the same. Canelo is a dope fighter. He's a good fighter. He has a win over Golovkin. But Golovkin, I'm just saying, Golovkin ain't really fought nobody. So Golovkin, yeah, he has an amateur pedigree. He was hyped up by HBO and stuff like that. But a draw and a win over Golovkin, that's dope. That's cool. That's what, the public said he was supposed to be. But Golovkin himself don't even have no crazy win. He was fighting middle of the road type guys up until Jacobs. And when he got to Jacobs, that's a fight he arguably didn't win. Same thing with the Canelo fight. So realistically, we don't really know. When Triple G stepped up in talent level, his fights got harder, much harder. And he didn't look like the Triple G that knocked out Gregor's Proska. Ishida, because the guys he was fighting, Canelo, Jacobs and stuff, even Kell Brook held a better account of himself. Kell Brook did better than Ishida. Skills pay the bills. He just wasn't big enough. And ultimately his eye gave out. It is what it is. But I personally want to see Canelo stick around the 160, 168 division, handle more business there, especially when you got guys like Andrade, you got guys like Charlo. Those are fight. I'll give Canelo all the props in the world if you fight them. Then if you want to move up to 68, you got David Benavidez. I just seen him today. He's big. He's about to fight Anthony Durrell, try to get his belt back. That's a hell of a fight. A Mexican-American and a Mexican fighter, a Mexican-American from Phoenix. You can put that in the West Coast. You can put that in Texas. David Benavidez, he has a great following. It's building. He had a good reception in Texas on the Errol Spence Mikey Garcia card. I was there. I was in Jerry's World, ringside, when I seen it. He knocked out Jay Leon Love. It looked good. So why, if you're going to fight these fresh contemporary guys, Zordo Ramirez when he was at 68, David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, Caleb Smith, if you want to fight someone at 168, But not like, let me skip around and choose and then pick Canelo versus Kovalev when, especially, man, I got to see how this Kovalev yard. Listen, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm rooting for what's right in boxing. Otto Wallen, I'm a fan. I hope he looks great versus Tyson Fury. I don't mind if he beats him. Andy Ruiz, I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of him, but I hope he beats Joshua just because the games and the politics, right? If Anthony Yard, or if Kovalev is the person that Canelo's trying to target at light heavy, I hope Anthony Yard wins. I'm a big fan of underdogs, and I just don't like the way people are trying to manipulate the board all across the board in boxing. Just skip around, leave Demetrius Andrade hanging where he can't get no fights against the top level names that would make or break him. Same thing with Charlo. Things like that. These guys, Andrade, Charlo, Caleb Smith, they look good at pause. They look good at what they've been doing, but they need the names like Triple G and Canelo and different guys like that to really show how good they are. So somebody got to step up and fight, and it's just what it is. So I'm rooting for everything that's right in boxing, and I think to make the rightful matches. These guys got to lend their star power. Getting millions of dollars, they got to lend their star power and take competitive. This is still a competition. It's not just money grabs and, let me just pick and choose around, And people claim Floyd did that, but he didn't do that. Look at Floyd's resume. You get what I'm saying? Floyd beat Canelo, who's still relevant. And he beat him at an advanced age in boxing. So I can't wait to see who Canelo decides. I can't wait to see what happens. The middleweight division is dragging their feet, in my opinion. I think there's explosive, excellent fights that could be had in the middleweight division, and not all of them are happening. It seems like Canelo Triple G is the only one that happened. We never got a Triple G Jacobs rematch. We never got Jacobs Charlo, and he's saying he's moving up to 168. We never got Canelo versus Charlo. We never got Triple G versus Charlo. We never got Demetrius Andrade versus Charlo. And I think we know why. I think we know why we didn't get a lot of those different fights, because some of them are easier to facilitate, you know. So hopefully Canelo makes, in my opinion, the right decision, chooses an apt opponent that people will all universally enjoy and like, that really makes sense. But all this franchise title and, you know, targeting Kovalev as opposed to these other guys who are ready-made in your division, it just, none of this stuff makes sense. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.